Hey guys, a few days ago I participated to the Global Game Jam 2021 and I created a game from scratch in 48 hours. So you might ask, what is a game jam? A game jam is an event where participants have to create a game, usually on a weekend, from scratch on a given theme. I did the game with my brother, he did the art, and I did the programming stuff and the music. In this video I will show you the process of the development of our game. The theme of the jam was Lost and Found, and once the theme was announced we started brainstorming for about 1 hour. So we wrote down all the ideas we had on a paper, like that. And at some point we found the idea about being lost in the sea, and we liked the idea a lot, so we stuck with it. Then we fleshed out the idea, and at the end of the brainstorming we had a pretty clear idea of what the game would look like. Okay, now let me explain what the game is about. So we decided to make a game about a guy lost in the ocean, and the goal of the game is to find the home island. It's a really simple idea, but simple ideas are exactly what we want in a game jam since our time is limited. So we decided that the game would have a top-down perspective with the camera following the player. The player would steer the boat with the mouse, and actually the game is only playable with the mouse. And we thought about creating different islands that would be scattered on the map, and we also thought about adding some naughty octopuses that would chase the player to death to keep things challenging, even though the game is still really easy. So after the brainstorming we had a pretty clear idea of the direction of the game, so I started doing a prototype of the game. So the first thing to do was to handle the boat movement. So I wrote a simple code to make the boat follow the mouse cursor, and I also wanted to make the boat movement realistic by adding inertia and make the boat turn in a smooth way. But after a moment I dropped the idea because it was taking too much time. In a game jam it's better to not waste time on tiny details. We shouldn't be afraid to sometimes drop some ideas to focus on the big picture of the game. The goal of a prototype is to have an early version of the game where the core gameplay works. This is the first prototype handling the boat movement and the camera following the player. The next thing to do was to create islands that would be randomly placed on the map. I then split the map into 9 zones in the form of a 3x3 grid. The player spawns in the zone in the middle, and the remaining zones contain each one island that is created somewhere within its zone. I also implemented some waves popping around the player to make it easier to situate the boat in space. Then I added the home island, which leads to the victory screen if we collide with it. Later on I added the collision system of the boat with the islands, and I spent quite a bit of time to make it work. Then my brother sent me an island asset he drew, so I could implement it in the game and see how it fits. And I also added some nice trails splashing from the boat to make it more alive. Finally I added some enemies to make the game more challenging. When you get close to an enemy, he will start chasing you and shoot bullets that you have to avoid to not lose the game. And as I was programming, my brother sent me some other drawings that I implemented in the game. A few hours before the game jam deadline, I was running out of time and I had to move on to do the music and the audio for the game. An essential point to make the game alive. And well, that was pretty much it. We're glad of the result and we'll continue working on that project to make it better. We still have a bunch of ideas that we can implement in the game, and yeah, I think we have a good starting point. Well, it was a pretty intense and tiring weekend, but in the end we had a game. Anyway, if you're interested in the game, you can check out the link in the description bar below. I would love to hear your thought about it in the comments. Thank you for watching. See ya.